What if the greatest treasure in life isn't something you hold on to, but the freedom to simply be? Kalea, a wanderer whose heart beat with the rhythm of endless curiosity, traveled far and wide in search of a temple whispered about in her dreams. A temple said to be filled with treasure, comfort, and wonders beyond imagining. Her journey was long and filled with anticipation. Every step carried the hope of finding a sanctuary where all her desires for security and delight would be met. When at last she arrived, her eyes shone with the promise of abundance. Yet as she crossed the threshold, she discovered not a vault overflowing with riches, but a single, empty room, with nothing in it but a modest water fountain, gently burbling in the center. At first, panic seized her. "Where are the treasures?" she cried aloud, her voice echoing off the barren walls. The comforts, the luxuries she had expected, everything was absent. But as she sank down on the cool floor and let silence wrap around her, something shifted. In that emptiness, a quiet lightness began to unfurl within her. A clarity emerged, a deep inner knowing that this very emptiness was not a void, but a space waiting to be filled with the treasures of being. In that moment, Kalea realized that the true treasure was not in accumulating things to own and control, but in the freedom of simply existing. She discovered that the weight of material possessions and the responsibility they demanded had always been a distraction from her own inherent worth. Instead of treasures to hoard, she found space to practice yoga, to lose herself in the gentle rhythm of her breath, and to begin writing the novel of her soul. The humble water fountain, abundant and ever-flowing, quenched her thirst far more profoundly than any gilded chalice could. As she sat in that empty room, the birds outside began to sing, a melody that danced with her newfound clarity. She sang back, a gentle duet with nature, and in that chorus, she tasted sustenance in the simple offering of nuts and berries, rather than in heavy burdens to carry. Kalea's heart blossomed with the understanding that the treasure she needed was not something to load up on and drag back to her village, but a living, breathing space within herself where every passion, every dream, and every hope could bloom unfettered. True freedom, she learned, comes not from having more, but from being more, being fully present, open, and unburdened. The empty room, with its solitary fountain, was the gift she had been seeking all along, a sanctuary that allowed her to connect with the treasures that dwelt within, ready to blossom and shine. In that simplicity, Kalea discovered that the richest treasure of all is the capacity to live in a space that honors who we truly are, unencumbered by the weight of possessions. As you listen to this parable, reflect on your own treasures. Ask yourself, what spaces within are waiting to be freed? What would it feel like to let go of the unnecessary and embrace the fullness of being?